Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody that's on the call so far, and this is another episode. This is episode 3 of Moon Mondays, which is a show that the Cosmic Council Radio produces as a group. The women of the council, we produce the show Moon Mondays, and it's every other Mondays at 9 p.m. for women, and we typically discuss women issues. Soon we'll begin to talk about health. We'll begin to talk about our children, just the host of things that women go through in general. And we use our own life experiences to be a teaching segment so that we can help others and help women to unpack the emotional baggage, the physical baggage, the spiritual baggage that we all seem to carry around to lighten, and we want to help all of us lighten the load. So hence the theme song, Bag Lady by Erykah Badu. So tonight we are going to talk the Venus Retrograde, which is, it's due to go live, on the 3rd, guys? What day is Venus going retro?
On the 5th, I believe. Let me see.
The 5th, okay. I knew it was somewhere around there.
Stationary on the 4th, and then on the 5th it'll be actually retrograde.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna discuss how to navigate that Venus in retro, and so before we get started, and you ladies can go ahead and say hi to the audience, and I'm gonna pull up the mission statement, and April is going to be joining us soon. She had another obligation, so she'll be coming in a little bit later to the call.
Well, greetings, everyone. My name is Rabina Rastavan. I'm part of the Cosmic Council, and I'm happy to present another episode of Moon Mondays. So this episode should be very enlightening and insightful because we're going to get into Venus retrograde, as Appollonia said. So I just want to welcome everyone on this Monday evening. Hopefully everybody survives the Monday grind, going back to work. Tony, do you have anything to share?
I guess it's basically welcome to the show. I'm excited to talk about the Venus retrograde. I'm also excited to be able to just talk amongst other women about, what we go through on a day-to-day basis. So I'm looking forward to some callers, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, definitely the highlight of Moon Monday are the awesome readings and stories that we get to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the mission statement, and we'll jump right in. So our mission statement here at the Cosmic Council Radio. The Cosmic Council is dedicated to the teachings of astrological, metaphysical, esoteric, and spiritual knowledge. The members of the Council pride themselves on keeping an open-minded approach while spreading love, light, and wisdom in the name of Aquarian unity. We are a group of diverse astrologers, intuitives, metaphysicians, and passionate affiliates. We all come with a broad voice that we are eager to share with the world from a creative, fun, rich, and powerful perspective. Of course, we all have our own flair, spin, and unique way of expressing ourselves creatively. Our goal is to speak to those that are rarely spoken to or for, say the things that are rarely stated, uncover the things that are usually hidden to bring light. We feel that it is our responsibility as light bearers to provide counsel, insight, and foresight to those seeking to know thyself. Like air, we hover over a situation with you to assist you in viewing the bigger picture. Like earth, we help you dissect the most needed pieces of a puzzle and create practical action steps. Like water, we cleanse, we heal, we quench your thirst. We seek to explore every emotion with you by getting to the root. Like fire, we ignite you, motivating you to take actionable steps for the greater good. We take our duties here at the Cosmic Council seriously, and we stand by them diligently. Okay. The major cosmic weather I wanted to touch on, I guess, was the Mars conjunct Uranus. That's a significant aspect this week. in the sky. And I definitely want people to kind of watch their tempers. Also watch your tongue, because with Mars conjunct Uranus and Aries, Aries energy is very blunt, very straight to the point, very abrasive. So with that conjunction in Aries, if you feel like you need to bite your tongue, do so. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in the raft of who she thinks she's talking to, or who he thinks he's talking to like that. F that. I'm not going to hold my tongue. Like, if you feel the need to have to tell yourself, I'm not going to hold my tongue, then you really should do so. Also, be mindful of rushing and, be mindful of rushing. Be mindful with cooking, with fire, burning yourself. Just be very mindful when driving to and from, and pace yourself as much as possible. Pace yourself and keep mindful of your abrasive and aggressive behavior, because it could lead to something ugly with Uranus in the mix, and it could start off very small, and the next thing you know, it's snowballed into a bigger issue.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, and that's going down in my third house. So I'm glad you mentioned about communication, because,
hold your tongue, especially you being a sad stellium.
Right? And my Mercury is in Sag at that, yup. So, I already know.
Definitely.
Well, part of this is going down in my fourth house, especially Uranus at, 21 degrees? Is it 21 or 22 degrees right now? It's going down in my 22 degrees, and this is in my fourth house. So I have been just kind of on the lookout for the unexpected in my home, especially when it comes to electricity. I've already had one problem when Uranus first entered, where I had to have an electrician come out because I had a short going on in my bedroom. The light would just cut on by itself, so we had somebody come out here and just shut that line off, because, one, we had too many switches. But at any rate, being careful of that. Since being a cat rising, I already have Aries on the 4th. My house has always been busy, so the increase of accidents with Mars and Venus, coming into the 4th house. So I've already talked to my children about, let's just be careful, be mindful when you're cooking. Try not to leave everything plugged up, because we do have a bad habit of leaving our chargers, our cell phone chargers, plugged up, even when we're in our home. Even allowing the dryer, because I can set it on a timer, even allowing the dryer to run when we're not home. This is just one of those times where my senses are really heightened and saying, okay, let's just pay attention and look out and just slow down and think before you speak. Think before you act. We have a tendency to move too quick, and things happen so fast. You can't take things back sometimes. Yeah. So that's what's been going on.
Yeah, very true. And what about you, Rabina?
What, in terms of my
any cosmic weather you'd like to share?
Well, I did notice that, more on a positive note, that Jupiter is forming a sextile to Uranus. So that's very auspicious, and that can bring like a sudden stroke of luck or good fortune for some people, not for everybody. It really depends on where these transiting planets are lining up in your chart, and whether it's they're affecting any personal planets you have. So let's say that Jupiter is landing on your sun. That right there can be a major come up, or a sudden come up in terms of your career. Or it could be like if you're married and you're a female, that can mean your husband is getting a promotion and he's about to advance in his life. So, that Jupiter sextile Uranus aspect can be very positive for a lot of people if it's affecting their chart personally.
And see, I have a 10th house Uranus in Libra, so Jupiter right now is conjuncted, and it's in my 10th house. Uranus is also the ruler of my second house. So,
right.
yeah, you never know at this time. The other thing that I was talking to Appollonia about is while all of this good energy is going on, I'm still under the Saturn opposition, but Saturn is also making a square to my sun, and that is something that I can definitely feel. Just the things that that are on my mind. Wanting to take a break, step away from work. I wish I could take like a little leave of absence or something like that. Just feeling a lot of pressure because it's coming from my 12th house. So the discussion that I was having with Appollonia today was, I think a lot of what I'm going through right now is fear-based. It may be a fear of losing control or not being in control. I'm really at a point where I probably need to take a look at everything that I'm responsible for and probably hold other people accountable because I realize that my burden is quite heavy, in my opinion. And if anything was to happen to me, I was really concerned about how we would manage. And I feel like I'm the glue, so I'm having to really just reassess everything that I am responsible for and making sure that everybody within my household is carrying their weight. So this has been an interesting time for me because at the same time we're doing this, the Cosmic Council, I see a change in my home life where I don't have the desire to do accounting anymore. I am really more so leaning towards my spiritual life and wanting to spend more time in meditation and just learning and just kind of just sitting back and taking a break. So I'm making sure that on the weekends I get as much rest as I can to gather my strength for the week. The other thing that I've noticed during this time is my feet and my hands. I'm having a hard time staying warm, and those are the two, areas of my body that I'm finding I'm having to put layers on, and which I find is interesting because I have Saturn in Gemini. So I just thought stuff like that was very interesting. It's in my 6th house, so just taking some time for myself, some peace and quiet, and making sure that I get that kind of solitude, the healthy kind, where where I am meditating, or maybe I'm reading or doing something that I enjoy, and not sitting and sulking, because this can be a really heavy transit for a lot of people.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you said Saturn's opposing your natal Saturn and squaring your sun?
Yes. And I have
that sounds pretty good. Despite that, you sound
really?
Damn good.
That's
despite that, though.
Yeah,
girl.
I've been telling her that the whole time. I've been saying, Tony, you are handling this very well, because that's like a double whammy right there. And
yep.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
It's more psychological pressure, and that's what brought me back to what I'm going through right now. Is definitely fear-based. I have set up things in my life to where I'm constantly protected when it comes to insurance. I mean, making sure that everybody is covered just in case anything happens. And, I realize that I have taken on so much to the point where I understand that I'm just one person. I can't do it all. I have to allow other people to be responsible, and I just can't afford the pressure anymore. If I could take at least 6 months, stay home, study, tend to my family a lot more, I think I will find some peace. But, of course, in a perfect world, that would be just ideal. But I can't afford to do that right now. So I have to find ways to make it through, definitely. But I can understand people crumbling under this kind of pressure. I can definitely feel it. Going through my 12th house, indeed, yes. And Pluto is there, too. So I've kind of gotten used to Pluto, but as soon as Saturn came in, I could feel it. You just almost feel like you just want to go under a little rock and hide. You just like, leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered. One of the things, my sister came over just yesterday, and we were just having a general discussion, and she asked me, why haven't I been doing my hair? And I didn't even realize that I wasn't doing it. I just wasn't in the mood, and I'm natural, so I just been picking my hair out, and I've been going to work, not even, taking enough time for to take care of myself, make sure that I'm presentable. I am taking baths. I just want to put that out there. But just in case somebody thinks, Lord have mercy, she's just rolling out of bed and, and moving on. But no, just those little things. So I have to make sure that I don't get too far, low or down. And like I said, I've been sleeping a lot, and I am not a napper. And I have been finding myself, I'm fine 1 minute, and next minute it's like, whew, I need a nap. It's working out though. I think my spiritual practice has helped me and is sustaining me at this time, and definitely an outlet, especially my love for astrology, and it helps me understand my current situation. So I am a little bit more optimistic than probably some people would be at this point.
Yeah. Wow.
And Tony, I just wanted to. Go ahead.
Sure.
Oh, Tony, I just wanted
to. Go ahead, Rubina.
Okay, Tony. I believe it was the last Moon Mondays where, or maybe it was your show, Voices Beyond the Veil, where you were talking about how you track your the transits of the moon and where it's. You said something about when you wake up, you look at where the moon is. I think you said. And,
yes.
Yeah, and so I started to take your advice on that, because usually I don't look at the moon. That's a Sagittarius to me. I got Mercury and Sag. So my thing is, I usually go like, well, the moon moves so fast, unless it's like close to my lunar return, I'm not really concerned about it. But yesterday, I started to really pay attention to the moon, because I didn't have any planetary transits becoming exact hitting up my chart yesterday, but I was upset because there was a discrepancy with a charge that I was charged. I was charged twice for one bill. So I was like, okay, I don't have no transits right now, so why is this happening? And I looked at the moon, and it was making, it made a conjunction to my Chiron. No, it made a semi-square to my Chiron, and it was making a quincunx to my Pluto. And I was like, wow, there it is. And the moon was in my second house.
Yes.
So I was like, wow, there it is.
Definitely.
Wow.
I have gotten in the habit, one, because the moon does move pretty quickly. It almost, how can I put it? It just sets the tone, in my opinion. The moon just comes along and just plucks at, each planetary station and set things into motion. So I definitely pay attention to that, along with the other planets, because I keep a daily astro journal where I have my natal planets, and I write down the transits, and I pay attention, especially to the sun, 2 days before an exact aspect and 2 days after. I've learned to watch out for things, or to anticipate, or, to the point where I'm not surprised when certain things happen, when I run into certain people, because I had gotten really good at clocking when I would run into particular energies. And it's usually somebody with that sun sign. It depends on what planet, the transiting sun is aspecting. But the moon is definitely something that you have to pay attention to, because it does move so quickly, and things can set into motion fairly fast. So you have to be on your toes. You do, for that one. And what right now we're in Pisces. I think the latter end of Pisces. Look, right there on my sun, 28 degrees of Pisces. So,
oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I know the Uranus transit in Aries has been extremely difficult for me, being that Uranus is transiting my second house.
Oh, wow.
This is all very new for me financially, because natally I have Jupiter and Aries in the second house. So anyone who's aware of that transit is aware that can make me very impulsive with spending. That can make me very just throw it in the bag type of person. And then I have the Sag stellium as well, that really doesn't help with with budgeting and all that kind of stuff when it comes to that aspect of my life. So anyway, Uranus moving through my second has really, I cannot wait for that transit to be over, because it's like nothing is firm with your finances with Uranus transiting your second. I know when the transit first started or midway through, so many people were saying, oh, Uranus is awesome going through your second, and this can happen. And I'm like, dude, you don't even fucking get it. If you're looking forward to a Uranus transit through your second, you have to be delusional. Right. Literally, this is like your finances are up and down like a roller coaster. You were able to survive with a certain amount of money before, and now it's like it's a whole different decimal point or something. It's just it's nothing solid with it, and it's a very hard transit to endure. And I even thought like, oh, okay, well, let's see how Uranus will behave conjunct my Jupiter exact. And this is the second time it's been conjunct my Jupiter due to the Uranus retrograde. But nope, nothing solid. Of course, I played the lottery, but nothing solid. I did. Now, the very first time Uranus conjunct my Jupiter, I went to the casino and I did play some roulette and was pretty lucky with that. I want to say I stepped off with about $350, but and it was my first time really getting deep off into roulette too. So one of my favorite games now. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to the Uranus transit to be over. My third house cusp is 26 degrees using equal signs. It's a little bit later, I think, using Placidus. But I'm very much so looking forward to Uranus going through my third house and not having to deal with the fuckery of Uranus fucking up my money. It's a very uncomfortable transit to a person who, like myself, natally has Jupiter there. So I've been dealing with that. I've had some financial hiccups these past few weeks as well. It would take me all night to go through those with you guys. But that's a really tough transit that I'm dealing with right now. Rabina touched on Neptune the other day on her show, and I'm also dealing with Neptune square my midheaven. That's very uncomfortable to me as well. A person like myself having Capricorn and Sagittarius energy, so I've always been very ambitious, very goal-oriented. Most of the time getting most of my goals knocked out, getting most of the things accomplished. But this period of my life has probably been the hardest with the Neptune square midheaven to actually turn my dreams into fruition. So, yeah, that's a difficult transit also, the Neptune square midheaven.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, with transit in Saturn squaring your moon, your natal moon in Pisces.
Oh, yeah.
How does that feel?
Transiting Saturn squaring my moon, that's difficult too. Me and my mom aren't speaking right now. I want to say when it squared exactly, she pissed me off right at that week, I think. But I was expecting it because whenever something happens with my natal moon, it's like me and my mom go through our little stuff. And mind you, my mother is a Leo, Aries, Libra rising. So me and her have a lot of, it's a lot of mixed energy. Me and her just don't vibe in a lot of ways. But that's been tough with Saturn squaring my moon. it's reactivating feelings that have already been there since my childhood. So it's kind of like snatching the Band-Aid off, per se. And I always sit and I pep talk myself, and I say, why are you angry with your mom? And I'll say, because she did this and this and this. But you know she always does stuff like that. Yeah, but she's supposed to be more mature than that now. She's not supposed to still be doing stupid shit like that. You know, it's like I literally talk to myself and analyze myself as far as why I'm feeling this way, why I'm thinking like this, why, which makes it hard, especially when you have a mother who isn't astrologically astute, per se. And she doesn't know what I'm talking about. All she knows is that she's the parent. I'm supposed to act a certain way, and what she says goes and stuff. You know, she's a Leo Aries. She's bossy as fuck. You know, it's no it's no compromising. It's no compromising with her. So yeah. So the Saturn square my moon has not been the best. Uranus is also a part of that square as well, because my Saturn and my Uranus are only a couple of degrees apart. So, yeah, it sounds like we're going through some pretty tough transits. And I actually, at some point, wanted to, because to the callers on the line, it may sound like we're totally speaking another language. And I wanted to, at some point, do a show on transits and teaching our audience how to pull their own transits and actually, you know, translating astrology, what we're speaking, so that the audience can understand what exactly it is that we're saying. But, yeah, so did you want to share any of your harsh transits at the moment, Rabina?
Yeah, I spoke about it briefly in my last episode of the Ace of Cups radio show, but basically I'm experiencing my third Neptune square Neptune transit, and basically Neptune square Neptune is what they call one of the midlife crisis transits. But I feel like I'm handling it pretty well. Like with Neptune square Neptune, number one, like you might really be questioning what is real and what is just fantasy or illusion or just a figment of your imagination. That's number one. Number two, you might have to make some sacrifices. And number three, it's a really good time to get very spiritual because your hold on the material world can be very, very tenuous during this time. So I found myself becoming even more spiritual than I have been, and it's actually been helping me to make it through this time. I also have transiting Neptune making a quincunx to my natal Pluto as well. Now that I feel like is less subtle, but the best manifestation of that, or the most accurate, is that I am carrying some significant debt right now that I'm trying to pay down. So that's the main thing right now, where I feel like I'm kind of like at the mercy of some creditors. So to me, that's the epitome of Neptune, quincunx, Pluto.
Wow.
That is so interesting that you say that, because I'm under the same transit with the Neptune square. Cause, yeah, my Neptune is 9 degrees Sag.
Okay.
So,
and mine's 11.
And see, that's my Mars degree.
Okay.
In Gemini. So, yeah, I noticed that when I first started experiencing, you know, for me, I can feel Saturn, and I guess because it's my chart ruler. And I can feel Saturn's movements, and I notice when I even look back at past experiences, Saturn has always made exact aspects, something always changed, or something was always kind of drastic or burdensome in my life. I can go back and track it. So looking at this Neptune in Sag, when Saturn rolled over that, in addition to the square, the people that I associated with vanished. I couldn't even tell you exactly why. I just noticed that people started leaving my life. And I began to question, just like you, everything that you thought, how your life, how you would want it to be, everything that you had planned in your mind, you realize, that wasn't quite, reality. This is not real. I'm going to have to regroup. You start seeing people for who they are, and I think that was the disheartening part. You're like, man, I really thought you were something different. Like, I really had blinders on. And so, things just really get real. And I do appreciate that, because as a Pisces sun, that is not a comfortable space for me to be in. You know what I'm saying? I always want to make sure, and that's one thing that I do appreciate about Saturn squaring my sun, is at a certain point I have to keep it real. Like, I can, in my mind, I can make it look however I want to look, but the reality of it is where I need to make sure that I stay. So that was disheartening. So going through that, the Neptune square, the Uranus opposition as well, since my Uranus is at 26 degrees Libra, so I really have a lot going on. Like I said, and Pluto you're ready to come out of my 12th house is at 18 degrees, and my ascendant is 19 degrees Capricorn. So, this is going to be interesting for me in the next couple of years. I would love to be able to look back on this time and say, wow, now, I understand it all. So I'm just taking it one day at a time.
Well, I got some experience with Pluto crossing your ascendant. So
please tell me.
Now, it's going to be bittersweet, because it's going to bring out the nasties. It's going to bring out some nasty people, especially when it's like real close to your ascendant. But it's also going to be a time when you're going to be become very prominent in your field. And I'm thinking more so on the astrological level as opposed to accounting. And that could be where you really just make that, where it's like a rebirth, and where you are making a new name for yourself. Because, the first house ascendant can deal with your name or your title. So, Pluto in your first house, like, it's still in my first house. It won't leave my first house for a while, because my second house begins at the 22nd degree of Aquarius. So, I'm just trying to take advantage of this time that Pluto's in my first house. And I have noticed a different, I've had a major come up in terms of my career as an astrologer, spiritual advisor. Not so much, actually money too, I can't even lie. In terms of money, being able to, make my own money and sustain myself somewhat, hell yeah, Pluto has made that possible big time. So it's a big time for self-empowerment with Pluto in your first house. But it can also be some really traumatic times as well, though.
Okay, I will definitely keep that in mind. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's one
very
of the places
interesting.
Where I'm really, I'm nervous about. I found that a lot of people from the Pluto and Virgo generation dealt with a lot of sickness. So I have been scouring the internet and looking for groups on Facebook or something like that for the people who are Capricorn ascendants, and Pluto's rolled over it. I haven't found too many people willing to talk about it. I don't know what that was. So
but let me tell you this.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, tell me.
But let me tell you some physical manifestations of Pluto in the first house. I'm gonna tell you, my skin hasn't been as bad. I mean, my skin is bad now. I talk about breakouts and clogged pores and all types of stuff. Also, when Pluto was when it first entered my first house, I had to go to the dentist because I had a cavity, and I don't like root canals, so it was close to the back of my mouth. So I was just yank that bitch, and it took this dentist, or it took the oral surgeon an hour to pull that tooth out. You want to talk about pain and the pressure? Oh my God, I was in tears. He was wiping my tears. I'm not trying to scare you, but Capricorn.
No, because that's something that I have to have done. That's actually something that I have. I have 2 wisdom teeth at the top that I have been so reluctant. I was like, I don't want to be put to sleep. I'm just thinking I want to hold on to this as long as possible, but it's inevitable. I have to get it done. So it's funny
when
that
Pluto
you
enters your
that.
first house, those two teeth are coming out. They're going to have to come out. Trust me.
Okay. I'm not going to get ready. Still go ahead and stack my chips now.
because it makes sense with Capricorn and teeth, because I had 6 wisdom teeth. And the dentist, the oral surgeon who pulled all my wisdom teeth, he said that that's extremely rare, where it's like the only time he's seen it is in his medical books rare, that a person has 6 wisdom teeth. Yeah. And when I got out of the seat from them doing my x-rays and stuff, he was like, so when you want to schedule your appointment, we can pull them one by one. And I said, oh, hell no, you taking all these teeth at one time, because I am never coming back here, ever. If you pull one and keep telling me to come back, nope. So, yeah, that was some of the worst pain of my life. You would think, I would have to say, having all those teeth pulled at one time is like up there on the scale with my labor pains. That's how much, and it's like, I don't like for my mouth to hurt. Like, yeah, like, I don't like for my mouth to hurt, period. Like, it's a very grueling feeling for a Capricorn to have their teeth hurting. That shit is not fun at all. Yeah, it makes you want to stick a damn knife in your hand or something. Like, it's not fun. So, I'm glad I got all of those teeth pulled out. And then, come to find out, they had left a piece of tooth in my mouth. So I had to go back and pretty much like someone opening up a scab that's healing to get that piece of tooth out. So, yeah, that was a very bothersome, crazy-ass experience. I'm so glad I don't have any more wisdom teeth to get pulled. No way, Jose. Don't want to relive
I'm
that.
low-key hating. I am low-key hating.
Yeah. But I wanted to touch on Rabina's Pluto. So how do you think Pluto in the second will end up treating you? Whenever, I know that's long time coming, but are you looking forward to that transit? Because I know being a Cappy, we kind of cringe at anything fucking with our money houses. At least I do.
Right. Let me see. I'm trying to see when that. I got my my ephemeris don't go that far. I only have it out till 2018. But I'm the type of person, I don't like thinking that far into the future. But let me see. It's going to be at least, I think it's going to be beyond 2020, like 2022, maybe even beyond that. But oh God, see, you have me thinking the worst now, because you know with Pluto in the second, that could be inheritance. I don't even want to think about it.
I was thinking about inheritance or insurance money, or you might get a major, and it doesn't even have settlement. To be, it could be a lawsuit, it could be a settlement, because Jupiter is getting ready to go through my 8th, or Jupiter is in my 8th, but I'm more so concerned with Jupiter going into Scorpio, which would be conjuncting my natal Pluto and my natal Mars, because I don't want to have a family loss or anything like that. I'm hoping it's another type of big payout or something when it comes to that. But I'm really more so concerned with Jupiter entering Scorpio. But I know Jupiter entering Scorpio is going to be transformational for me. I already can feel that it's going to transform my money some way, somehow. And I'm looking.
I'll tell you what that's about. I'm going to tell you what that's about. I think this is what I think. I think around that time you're going to get your hands on a lump sum of money, whether it's through a loan to fund a business venture, or through some other means, through a collaborative effort. I don't see Jupiter landing on your Pluto as being a bad, or Jupiter. I don't see transit Jupiter landing on Pluto as a necessarily bad thing. Not even in the 8th house, because Pluto belongs in the 8th house, number one. And then Jupiter in the 8th house, while it can increase debt, it can also bring about opportunities to increase your money through unearned sources, or through collaborating with others, or through a loan, or what have you. And Jupiter rules your midheaven, right?
Yeah, Saturn midheaven.
Yeah. So that could definitely be you getting a loan to fund your business or something. So think on the bright side.
Yeah, and I definitely am.
I know, you know, I got to be honest.
I definitely can understand that, and I see that too. Definitely, with it being a collaborative effort, guys, hopefully it's the money for the Cosmic Council so we can really make this thing pop.
Right?
Yeah, but it's that's what I was gonna say with the Neptune square Neptune, Rabina. So I was telling you guys the other night, like, oh my God, I hate feeling like I'm trapped in my body. So ever since I've been a child, I've been extremely aware, and I tell everybody this, ever since I've been a child, I've been extremely aware of the fact that I am a soul having a human experience. And when I was a kid, though, it felt fun. It felt like, okay, you're on an adventure, you got to do this, you got to do that, but at the same time, childhood was a very daunting task. I felt very inconvenienced by childhood. Like, man, let me just hurry up and get this fucking part over with. Because it was like I felt that I had bigger things to do. But feeling like that now as an adult makes me feel very crazy. So Neptune square Neptune type transits kind of make me a little cuckoo, because I'm like, okay, it's already like I have 1 foot in reality and 1 foot in the spirit realm, and I kind of feel like the only way to escape this feeling is to just not be in my body completely. And I always have to tell myself, Appollonia, one day you're going to die and this is going to be over with, and you don't have to do it again anymore if you don't want to. I literally tell myself that as a pep talk, because I've been very aware of this feeling all of my life. So maybe that has to do with my Neptune squaring my midheaven. It is the highest point of your chart, the highest point of your mind. So with Neptune squaring the highest point of my mind, I think it's kind of like putting that right in front of my face over and over. Like, hey, you're a spiritual being. Hey, this is just earthling experience. Hey, don't get too caught up into this. It's like, but it's a crazy feeling. I must admit, it makes you feel like, am I fucking losing my mind? But I have sense enough to know that I'm not. And I hope that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I told you guys before, when Neptune first went into Pisces, my dreams became so vivid, and the lines between my waking life and my, dream life or sleep life, whatever you want to call it, they began to merge so much so, and the experiences that I started having were to a point where, I just couldn't explain it all, even things, during meditation. So that was part of the reason why I started studying astrology, looking for answers during that time. And I look back between, I can't remember, was it 2012 and to now, and how much I've grown and how much I understand and how much stronger I am in my spiritual life. I really appreciate Neptune in that regard. I definitely do. So I understand what you mean by living in two different worlds, and, I feel like I'm always busy, because if I'm not up and doing something, I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming, or I'm meditating, it's always something. But I really have learned to appreciate that aspect coming through, definitely. Transcendence, for sure. And it's trying in my midheaven in Scorpio. So, yes, I'm enjoying that part.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's awesome. I hope that everyone that's on the call, that we didn't totally blow you away with our astro talk. But I promise, next time soon, or maybe even next week, we will conduct a transit talk where we will explain to people how to pull your own transits and how to look at them to see what to expect, what could possibly be going on for you that particular week, that particular month, and we'll share some of our techniques of how we read our own transits as an astrologer, so that you can begin to read them for yourself and kind of get a grasp on what's taking place. So we're going to touch on this Venus in retrograde for a few minutes, and then we're going to take an intermission before we take our callers. So Venus is going retrograde, the planet of love, the planet of money, the planet of all things good, everything that comforts you, everything that you enjoy, all the stuff you like to wallow in, all the stuff you like to lather yourself in, pretty much things that make you happy, luxurious, things that taste good, things that smell good, things that feel good. The planet Venus rules all of those things. So that planet is going retrograde. Now, some astrologers say, or I guess most astrologers say, when a planet is retrograde, it's more intense, or it's focused on one particular thing. Like it stops and it takes a step back to focus on one particular area, instead of just blowing through, not really stopping to smell the roses. So when a planet goes retrograde, you really have to look at what house it's affecting for you, what that planet represents in your life, what Venus means to you. Now, for most of us, yes, Venus rules a lot of things when it comes to love, marriage, relationships, on the surface level. And I guess ladies, are we going to talk money, or are we going to talk love? I guess for me, Venus is retro in my second house. So probably going to have a lot to do with my finances, being that the second house is ruled by your assets and your money. But at the same time, some love matters could be afflicting my money, or I could be arguing with my spouse about money, which is nothing new at all. So all of those things could be taking place with Venus retro in the second house. But I guess what we wanted to touch on tonight, we know a lot of ladies that listen to our show are single or looking for love. And I'm one of the astrologers that is very anti-new relationships during Venus retrograde. I've seen it over and over too many times with clients, loved ones. I'm just very anti-new love affairs during Venus retrograde. Now, I can pass the mic and you ladies can touch on how you feel about Venus retrograde and what it means to you.
Well, I'll start. I have a Venus retrograde story, but it's not about relationships. It pertains to money. And I'm one of those people that tend to poo-poo stuff like, retrograde, unless it's like Mars or Saturn. So when Venus turned retrograde in 2015, I was just like, everything going to be all right. And I remember reading an article from an astrologer. I forget what her name was, but basically she was providing some tips for Venus retrograde, and she said, avoid making any major purchases. So I had read that, and I was like, oh, okay. And then within, I actually have a date down, around August 16th, when Venus was retrograde, August 16, 2015, I went and bought a car. And, I got the car note and everything like that. So everything was going along fine. It wasn't until Venus turned direct, and this was August 2015 when I bought the car. Venus turned direct, and then I got a call back from the car dealership in September saying, you need to bring the car back because the financing fell through. And basically the reason why was the make of the car was too old for the bank to want to finance it, and the mileage was a little bit too high for them. So the good thing is, on the bright side, I ended up returning the car, but I was upset at first when I first heard about it because I was like, I really like this car. But it ended up working out in my favor because I traded the car in for a newer model, and I actually only had to pay like $50 extra per month. So it really worked out well, and I'm really happy with the exchange. And the crazy thing about it is Venus was in my 8th house when I bought the car. And, you know, the 8th house can deal with financing and, you know, getting a loan or a car note or what have you. And during the time when it went retrograde, it crossed over to my 8th house cusp, went back into my 7th, and that's when I got the call from the car dealership. So that's just my little story. So basically, that's a lesson for me, and to, just to let everybody know, that whole thing about being careful about major purchases during Venus retrograde, that's very true, especially if Venus is in your 2nd or your 8th house. I would even say 7th house, because the 7th house could deal with contractual agreements, and maybe even the 10th house if we're talking about you're a temporary contract worker and there's an opportunity for you to sign on for a job, maybe a temporary assignment for a year or so. Something may go wrong with that position while Venus is in retrograde if you sign on while it's retrograde. So that's just, you know, to put that out there.
Wow. Well, Venus is damn sure going retro in my 2nd house, and with Uranus there fucking up my money, I can't really make a big purchase anyway. So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Now, for me, it's going to go retrograde in my 3rd house. And actually, it's going to retrograde at 13 degrees Aries. That's actually my natal Venus degree in Aquarius. So this is going to be, a sextile. What I had thought about, I mean, my husband and I both, I think this would be a good time for the two of us to sit down and just reevaluate our finances overall. I think we need to sit back down at the table and come up with a better budget and make sure our load is balanced, because the way we're doing it now, we're seeing that it's almost sometimes we feel like we're working against each other. So this will be a good time for the two of us, and my son is in the 3rd house as well, and that's why I'm mentioning my husband. I think this will be a good time for us to just sit down and lay everything out on the table and come up with a better strategy going forward. So that's my plan, and I'll be interested to see what's coming up too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any horror stories either. I'm grateful. I don't have any. I don't. I don't want people coming out of the closet either. I do think too. I want to add this. Do think this will be a good time. Automatically, when I see retrograde, I always think about just going back over things, anything. Dealing with money, dealing with relationships. If you need to even reassess your the things that you want in your relationship, because this is a time to talk about the things that you value, and look at your self-worth. Do some some self-work. Pamper yourself a little bit. I think this will be a good time to just kind of sit back and chill too. Would you not agree? Yeah.
I agree. I'm always down for chilling.
I'm always down for chilling.
You'll have to tell me twice.
Yeah, a good time since we talked about the planet Venus and the sensation of touch, maybe a massage. I just think it's, a good time to relax and just reassess things. I always look at that when it comes to a planet in retrograde. What can I do in regards to this planetary energy that I probably overlooked, in my recent past? So definitely take advantage of this time.
Kind of like stop and smell the roses, huh?
I said, and it's going to be rolling over my sun degree again. So Who knows?
But kind of like a time when you stop and smell the roses.
Definitely. So you're talking about, the sign of Pisces, the smells. That's the only thing I can think about. I'm really hard when it comes to perfume. I don't wear perfume, but I know this is a good time to do exactly what you said. Sit back and smell the roses. Sit back and enjoy your partnership.
Some Venus in retro stories that I had. Well, I'll share one. I'll share one, and then we'll go to intermission so we can take our callers. But when
Definitely.
Venus goes retrograde, I always have men come into my life, and I know that they're temporary all the time. And the last time Venus was in retrograde, I met a gentleman, and I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. I was on lunch break at work, ran to the store with my coworker. We went to get lunch. He was some type of driver, and he was bringing some packages or something to the store. And I seen him looking at me, and I was like, oh, God, I don't feel like being bothered. But he eventually approached me, and we started talking, and we swapped numbers, blah, blah, blah. And I always remember because he told me that he thought maybe I was a lesbian because my homegirl looked kind of rugged. And he said he didn't know if, you know,
Wow.
he said he didn't know if she was going to, like, spaz out or something. But anyway, long story short, me and him, we ended up, like, messing around. It was a fling. We were really cool. But his penis was not up to par, Venus in retrograde. I can't remember. I can't remember what house my Venus was transiting, but here's the thing, and I can't remember where Venus was in retrograde, but of course we used the rubber, and I still got a motherfucking UTI, and I said, oh my God, you know, like it's two things that small penises make me do: squirt or have a UTI. If that happens, it's not popping.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm like trying to figure out the connection between a squirting and a small penis.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know what it
We'll have to talk about that.
Is it like tickling? It's a tickler, I guess. A little tickler.
Girl, I don't know, but it's like little ones make me squirt. It's definitely not larger ones.
Look, I'm over here choking.
That is funny.
So hopefully somebody else can call in with that experience.
But what I get from that, Appollonia, is that if you get with a guy during Venus retrograde, then you might be unsatisfied with him sexually. Is that what you're saying?
That's what it seems like to me. Or either when they come, I already know that it's temporary. It's not anything to be, you know, putting all your eggs in one basket for. It's really not. It's pointless.
Gotcha.
In my opinion.
Wow.
So that's why I was saying, be mindful of unions that you up and start right now, because it, you know, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it will be as insignificant as a Mercury retrograde fling. It might go on a little bit longer, but you'll kind of be settling, or, you know, like, let me just see what happens type of thing. So I wanted to put that out there to the listeners who are single and dating, and, you know, you might just run into somebody because, like I said, Venus is retrograde. It has more of a time to focus. So somebody may approach you who wouldn't have approached you when Venus was steady. Because I hear a lot of times, too, like, people don't approach people anymore, as far as guys to ladies. So just be mindful of that with your Venus and retro dating experiences. And if you happen to meet somebody, definitely call in and let us know. Give us some type of update. But our intermission song is going to touch on the type of Venus and retrograde love affair. So it's one of my favorite songs. I hope you guys enjoy it. And when we come back, we're going to start taking callers and get some readings knocked out. So thanks for listening, and stay tuned. Okay, guys, so we're back, and I definitely think Carl Thomas might have met that chick during a Venus retrograde, and he got a little bit in too deep. And
I love that song though.
Be mindful,
right?
Yeah, awesome song. Be mindful of who you're meeting during these Venus retrogrades, and we're going to go ahead and take our first caller. And after our first caller, we have an email that came over, so we'll definitely get to the email after we get to our first caller. So, all right, because she's been holding the longest. I think this is her. Okay. Area code 336-212. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Graham, North Carolina.
Graham, you said?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And what's your name?
Sharita.
Sharita? Okay, Sharita. So what can the council help you with tonight?
Well, I called last week on the Pisces man, and they told me to call back tonight to try to figure out.
Yeah. I remember. Okay.
Yeah, and
so
he cut. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Sharita. My apologies.
Well, just to reiterate, he cuts me out of his life by shutting down his emotions, and it's like it'll take like almost a week for him to recover and to contact me again. After a year of dating, I have not been invited to his house because he says he likes the privacy of my home. And it's just like little things like that. He's financially, depleted. He has no savings at all. Sometimes he relies on me to help him out in certain situations. It's embarrassing.
Oh, hell no. So you've never been to his house and you've been with him a year?
I know where he lives, but I've always told him that it's cheaper for me to come to him because he's got this big truck, which takes about $20 to come to me compared to $5 to come to him. And he's just talking about because of privacy, because he lives with his brother and his sister comes over, and I'm just like, come on.
Sharita, is he blowing your back out? Because I'm trying to understand. That must be the best D you've ever had. Because he has to get money from you to come spend time with you?
No, not like that. He just, whenever he does have to come, has to spend his money, more money for him to come see me.
Yeah. Okay.
He spends his own money, but,
But sometimes he needs financial assistance from you.
He sounds like some classic dark-sided Pisces stuff to you.
Yeah, he's a Pisces.
This is very much so dark-sided Pisces.
Yeah,
and
I think so too.
The whole time you were speaking, Sharita, I was turning my kitchen tarot cards, and I got the Temperance card reversed, which means this is definitely out of balance. I'm gonna get his birthday from you, and ladies, you can definitely go in on this too.
And Sharita, what's your birthday?
June the 4th, 1966.
You said November the 4th?
No, June the 4th, 1966.
Oh, June the 4th. June the 4th, 1966.
And see, I say this all the time. The only sign that can get over on Geminis are Pisces. They beat y'all at your own game. I say this all the time because not very many signs can lynch Geminis, but a Pisces can. A Pisces has the upper hand over a Gemini, and it's like that extra, that water just totally bamboozles a Gemini, and people don't understand. Like, women always say, "Oh, I want somebody to write a book on how to get a Gemini," but it's the key is in Pisces, people. But what city and state were you born in, Sharita?
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Okay. And when is your guy's birthday?
March the 12th, 1973.
Oh, he's a younger gentleman, too.
I'm not a cougar yet, but yeah, it's close. But. Oh gosh.
I'm gonna do him.
So could you?
And Graham.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys. This is actually a coworker of mine, so I'm gonna let you guys go in.
Oh wow.
On his chart. Yeah, definitely.
Well, first I wanted to talk to you, Sharita, about your chart, like, and also your numerology, because I'm seeing where, and of course you being a Gemini makes sense, where you do have a need for a lot of space, like even if you're in a relationship. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay. So that is part of the reason why you attract men like this Pisces gentleman, because, you know, he's giving you all the space that you could possibly want, and maybe even more than what you want. But
exactly,
basically,
it's more than what.
Yeah. So basically, it's like a double-edged sword with all that Gemini energy. You got a stellium in Gemini, and then your moon. Well, I don't know what time you were born, but the time that I have right. What time were you born? Because I need to see where your moon is at.
I think my mom said sometime in the afternoon, like 3 something.
Okay, so your moon is in Capricorn.
Oh.
So you definitely have a need for space.
Mhm.
Oh, so are they opposing each other?
And this guy has a Cancer moon. Yeah.
Yeah, that right there is. Yeah. So that right there can explain why you haven't been to his house yet. That moon opposition moon.
That makes sense.
And then with that Cancer moon of his, he might have a woman. I'm not saying that, you know, he's cheating on you or whatever like that, but he might have something to hide, dealing with his home life.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And
too.
I got the Temperance card reversed. There's definitely some shady business going on here. It's unbalanced, and he's not telling you everything. The Temperance card reversed, it means that somebody's doing some sinister shit. If you've ever seen the Temperance card, it looks like an angel, and in a reverse form, somebody's up to no good.
Oh my goodness!
Wow. Very manipulative person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
And
it's funny. It's funny you pulled a card. It's funny you pulled a card, Appollonia, because we must have been pulling a card at the same time. Because I pulled one card from my deck, and I got the 9 of Swords. So that's definitely not good either. That's a guy that's going to just give you a bunch of headaches over and over again. Yeah, or it could basically deal with. He basically tells you what he thinks you want to hear. But it's just a bunch of
bull. And that's where he's from, the Bull City. Dude.
You said Bull City.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
And he's a
and he has a Pisces stellium.
Listen, she's got Saturn in Pisces. She's got Saturn in Pisces, so she doesn't like all this secretive stuff. She's like, no, I need to know. I need some concrete stuff.
And it's conjoined to Chiron. Hell yeah.
So and he has a Pisces like stellium.
Yeah.
I was just going to say he has a Pisces stellium with Mercury and Venus. So it's kind of like he sings you a movie. Like, he keeps you on this song and dance. He knows exactly what to say to you. He knows exactly when to say it. I also have that his Mars is conjunct your moon. His Mars is in Capricorn conjunct your moon. So, yeah, when I asked you earlier, was the D that good? It definitely is. But he knows exactly how to keep you strung along.
Yeah, but I'm like I told my coworker that works with y'all, I cut him loose on Sunday because I just got tired of the bull. You know, I just got tired of it.
Oh, you cut him loose on the night of the eclipse. How interesting. When the eclipse took place in Pisces.
Interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
He also has
what do you
Venus
guys...
square Saturn, which is hard for, basically that can be, he depends on women for security or to handle some of his responsibilities. Yeah. That, and his Saturn's in Gemini. So let me see where that lines up with your, oh, wow. His Saturn is right on your sun. That's not really good. Now, that could be a relationship where you guys are together for years, but there's no growth. You're not going nowhere, and it's all on his terms.
Yeah. He has the Saturn.
Oh my gosh, this is scary. You hit the nail right on the head, I tell you. I think I did the right thing, Doctor.
So what do you guys think about Venus retrograde coming back through? Since it's
he's going to be knocking on her door or whatever. He's going to be trying to get back in.
Yeah, but I don't think that's over.
Especially when Venus enters Pisces. When Venus enters Pisces and it lands on his Saturn, on your Saturn, that's probably when you're going to hear from him.
And your Saturn is at 28 degrees Pisces.
Yeah.
So we'll keep a track of that. Pisces. We'll keep track.
Now with that, with your Saturn conjunct his Sun, is something that he depends on you for. I don't know if you pay a bill for him monthly or it's something that he depends on you for.
He asked me for like money for his son's medicine, and then his brother recently passed, and they owed $11,000, and he wanted me to contribute to that. And
what the? Oh my God! Okay.
Brother,
not to make light of your situation, but
I'm sorry.
Right.
Let me be. This is classic dark-sided Pisces stuff, ladies. All you ladies listening in the audience, this is classic dark-sided Pisces shit. Like, for real.
This is. You know what? I need to put her onto your video too on YouTube about the dark side.
Yes.
I will pass that on to you, Sharita.
Okay, thank you.
If you haven't seen Rabina's dark-sided episodes, you are missing out. Definitely seek her out. Rabina Rastaban on YouTube. Her dark-sided videos are the truth. It's definitely there. And I just can't understand how a man could fix his mouth to ask for some help on $11,000. But again, with his Sun conjunct your Saturn, with his Sun conjunct your Saturn, it's something that he depends on you for, whether it be pocket change, his son's medicine, is something that he depends on you for. So yes, he's gonna be back because he doesn't have anybody else to fill that void. So yeah, just be mindful and give us a call back when he calls. And I am sorry for laughing. I need to get on my professional stance. But I'm more so in awe. Like, I'm more so in awe. Yeah. But when I got the temperance card reversed, definitely. There's some fuckery, some lying, some sinistry going on. Just say no. Just say no. The next time he come and ask for his baby medicine, tell him to go to the social services.
But you know what? Another interesting fact is that, no, you guys are fine. The other interesting thing is both of them having Saturn on each other's sun. So I wonder if this is some kind of debt that they owe to each other. Am I making sense? It's definitely something there. Because it just seems like, golly, that I've never seen a synastry where Saturn aspected each other's sun that way. Maybe Mercury, but the sun, that is truly very interesting. Yeah, I would definitely say some sort of that planet by Saturn being the planet of karma, especially in Pisces. That's your another echo of karmic debt. So I don't know. I don't know.
And Sharita,
you may have to pay up a little bit more. You know how to
be cutthroat?
Yes, you do. You know how to get Mars in Gemini. You know how to say, I don't give a fuck about your baby medicine. You know how to say that with no problem. Yeah.
No, but that's what I was going to get at. That's what I was going to get at with Sharita about her needing that space and like what you said about, you know, Gemini could be cutthroat. I feel like deep down inside you chose this man because you really don't want to be in the type of relationship where it's going to feel like you're obligated to do too much. Even though this turned out to be where you're still doing things for this man, but it's still where it seems like you're above him. You know what I mean? And he's like kind of like, even the age thing, you got to look at.
Right. Yeah.
So I think you have this need to maintain this space and this freedom, but at the same time, you're attracting this man who's kind of like a parasite to you. But at the same time, you're still able to maintain your freedom because it's not a real relationship; it's a sham.
Yeah, and one more thing I want to add, Sharita, before we go on to the next caller. I just noticed this man has Uranus and Libra in his 5th house. He thinks he's all that. He thinks he's all that when it comes to his sex game. Oh, yeah. He thinks he's all that, and he thinks he is the desirable one.
He told me to to learn my position. Again? He told me to stay in my position. To stay in my position.
Oh,
did he really?
Yeah.
What?
Girl, that's that Mars and Capricorn all day.
Oh, you're right. Oh, hell yeah.
That is Mars and Capricorn all day.
Mars and Capricorn square that Uranus and Libra. Mars and Capricorn square that Uranus and Libra. He thinks that he is the trophy. He thinks he's the trophy.
Exactly.
Yeah, uncompromising too. That's somebody that don't want to compromise for nothing.
Exactly.
You got it. I appreciate all that insight.
And he's shifty as hell.
Just say no.
Okay.
He said, just say no. Just say no. And see,
and what were your last words, Rabina?
What, that he's shifty as hell? Is that what I said? No, but trust me, he's going to come back, especially because y'all got that Saturn influence. He's going to come back, so he's going to test you. You will be tested again.
Definitely.
Thanks. Okay, I'll be waiting, and I will not respond.
Good.
Thank you for the call.
Now he may show up at your house.
Thank you. Hit us up with the update.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Thanks for calling.
Cosmic Council member April has joined us, and we're gonna the next caller we're gonna take is the email the email entry that we received. I was trying to see, was she on the line, if she had any additional questions. Okay. So let us just get to her email really quick. Let me go back to that screen. Sorry. And April, you can say what's up, girl, while I'm pulling up this email.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing?
Hey, April.
I was enjoying the last call with that dark-sided Pisces stuff. You guys are on point with that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, money. That's crazy. That sounds totally like the codependent dark side of Pisces men, like expecting everybody to take care of them. Because woe is me, I'm drowning out here in the ocean. You need to throw me a life raft, but get out of here with that.
And the fact that he has Venus, the Venus in Pisces, he's definitely using that to his advantage. I wonder.
Oh my God,
he's done this before. Yeah, you know.
I would have said, how many times is your baby going to need some fucking medicine? Fuck out of here. Like, no, but...
Oh, you know what? You know, with Uranus sitting right there in his 5th house, I mean, he could really be telling the truth about that and using that Venus and Pisces, you know, as sympathy to get money from his partner. Say, hey, I need help. And he's probably hitting up
that Uranus in Libra. I was about to say, that Uranus in Libra then hit up 3 other people before her for the baby's medicine, and now he's just coming to her with the same lie for his pocket money. That's what that is.
And a dark-sided Pisces, man, they don't have no shame about asking a woman for money. No shame whatsoever.
No.
Not. Oh, gosh. I am so glad I've never met one.
You know, they put on that sad puppy face, give you a sob story, maybe even shed a tear. Yeah.
Oh, she said shed a tear.
And the Oscar goes to, wow.
The one with their moon in Cancer. So he probably does put on the waterwork.
He's hella cutthroat. With the moon in Cancer?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even look
at it. And it's on his south node. His moon is on his south node, isn't it? Damn.
Yes, it is. It is.
Damn.
It is.
He got mommy issues, women. Yeah.
Yeah. Codependency is a huge lesson for him.
Well, that was one of the first things that I asked, too. Definitely. This is something he has brought forward.
Yeah.
Wow.
He came in, a big part of his mission is to see women he can get over on. He probably lived with his mom until he was about 30-something. Wow.
I wonder if she's going to show him this recording of this show.
Girl, that
he'll be like,
that
would not be able to talk about me. Yeah, he won't believe that we're talking about him. He'd be like, that don't even sound like me. What are you talking about?
Right. Deny. Definitely.
Yeah. All right, guys. Wow. So our email comes from Kanisha, and she wanted a mini reading, particularly on her current transit. She was born 1/13/82 in Newbern, B-E-R-N, North Carolina, at 6:30 a.m. So if you guys want to...
I got a quickie on Kanisha.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm familiar with her, and, you know, we were chatting in the SIA group on Facebook, and it is so interesting because she is actually my children's distant cousin. So when you said her name and you said Newbern, I was like, I remember her. But yeah, somehow she's connected to my my 2 oldest children. So yeah,
that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Well, I'm happy that she's listening to the show.
Yes. I would have loved for her to call in, but we'll take an email.
Let's see here. And she would like to discuss her current transit. So,
she say what time she was born? I'm sorry.
6:30 a.m.
6:30 a.m. Mhm. So, April, you want to go in on this one? Then people can piggyback off with April too. You know.
She wants to know her current transit.
Okay. Yes, she says she would like a free mini reading, in particular with her current transits. That's all she said.
Okay, so she's a Cappy rising. She has, what's her sun? Oh yes, Sun and Cap. Hello, Sun and Capricorn. Well, with all this 4th house stuff going on in Aries, she's probably got, like, her concerns right now are probably more based around the home and her family. And she could be just kind of laying low a little bit and just kind of under the radar, maybe chilling at home, maybe moving. A lot of Capricorns, especially Cap risings, are moving right now, in the process of moving, or like renovating things around their house because Mars is there wanting to knock all the walls down. So renovating and beautifying the house, that's like a big concern. Or, like I said, maybe moving, maybe even looking around and seeing like, man, this place I live in is a dump and I don't like it anymore, so, I think I'm just going to move. And then there's going to be a new moon in Aries in March, too, at the end of March. So if moving is a concern, home is a concern, then that can kind of be like a finalization of things, of moving. But also Venus is going to be retrograde in the 4th house, so that's going to be a time of reflection. So she should probably, if she is thinking about moving or anything, she may want to wait until after the retrograde is over, which is April 15th, which is tax deadline day. So that's the best that I can do on the spot like that, so I'll pass the mic.
No, you did a good job, April. Definitely. Good job.
Definitely.
Thanks.
I mean, I can piggyback because I definitely agree with everything that April said, and especially if she's in the process of looking for a home, don't be too quick with Venus and Aries and get ready to go retrograde. Don't be too quick. Don't pick the first thing that you see. Take time and really think about that. And the possibility of a love interest or something like that could be coming through.
I saw that too.
Yeah. Take your time. Take your time and get to know this individual. That's all I have to add.
And I would say take your time with this fella too, because the Aries stellium that's going to be affecting your 5th house is opposite that Jupiter in Libra transiting your 12th. So some things may be fuzzy, or he could be, on some deceit Libra shit, I keep saying Jupiter in Libra is accentuating some of Libra's dark-sided traits. Libras are having a hard time covering their steps how they usually do, how they're usually able to. So definitely be mindful of that if you're entertaining any new booze or anything like that. But Mars is attached to this issue as well. So again, if it's just going to be a friends with benefits kind of situation, just go ahead and let that happen. But be mindful of putting all your eggs in one basket when it comes to this new person. So, and Kanisha wasn't able to call in. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no. Go ahead, because after you talk, we're going to go on to the next caller because we have a few people waiting.
Oh, okay. I was, thinking sometimes when it comes to Jupiter going through your 12th like that, get ready to cross your ascendant in a little while. If she's not looking to expand her family, she might want to make sure that she's, is very cautious as well. That's coming up for her.
Oh,
that happens sometimes when Jupiter crosses the ascendant. We can gain weight in several ways. It don't always have to be food.
So if you are entertaining a friend with benefits, make sure you strap up, girl. If you don't want no mishap,
And this on her Saturn right now, so yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
especially with Neptune making a quincunx to her Mars.
Yeah, and a quincunx to your Mars, that could be a piece of shit baby daddy. Saturn can be an asshole baby daddy. I have learned that.
Oh, really?
It could also adjustments.
Yeah, I'm also seeing where, like, if she got with a new guy and he put it on her real good, she could lose herself, just in that feeling with that Neptune quincunx Mars. So all may not be what it seems with respect to men. If you do happen to meet a new guy around this time, just make sure you put him under the microscope because Neptune's also opposing your moon as well. So you might get an impression that this guy is the one, but he might be a wolf in sheep's clothing. So, yeah, with that Neptune, oftentimes you got blinders on like we were talking about when the episode first started.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, so we're going to take our first caller, or second caller of the night, 205-552. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello. Yep, we're here. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Wanda. I'm calling from Alabama.
Hi, Wanda.
Hi, Wanda.
Thanks for calling tonight. What can the Cosmic Council help you with?
Well, this is my first time calling into the show, so I was just basically listening. I really don't have anything pressing. If you want to do a quick reading, that would be fine. But
okay, well, you just give us your birth date, your time, and what city and state you were born in.
April 1st, 1966.
Okay.
Chicago. And that's at 3:26 p.m.
3:26 p.m. So any area of your life challenging you at the moment, Wanda, that you want us to focus in on?
Well, I'm kind of on a, I guess you say, a self-discovery journey. So that can encompass a whole lot. So I'm just maybe interested to see what you had to say as far as this Venus retrograde period.
Okay. Rabina, did you want to start?
Well, in particular, what I was noticing is that when Venus goes retrograde, it will land on your sun. So you could have. So I don't know if you're in a relationship or if you're married, but if you're not, you could have an old ex try to come back into your life with Venus landing on your sun. Also, there could be an issue with just with maybe a charge on a bill that you received. So you really want to, comb through everything with a fine-tooth comb, especially Aries, I believe, when Venus is retrograde. You don't want to take anything at face value, especially dealing with purchases and money matters, because this is a time when there may be an erroneous charge that slips by you. So, if you're making any purchases with more than, 5 or 10 items, make sure you're looking at everything, itemizing everything. Or, if you get a monthly bill, make sure that bill is the same amount, because when Venus lands on your sun, you might have to contact someone about, an erroneous charge or something like that, or an overcharge.
Okay.
Now, are you currently in a relationship or are you married?
Yes, I'm married.
Okay, you're married. So in terms of your marriage, this would be a good time to really, if you feel like the passion has kind of waned, this would be a good time to try to reignite the passion in your marriage when Venus is retrograde, and just try to get back into the swing of things, just like having date nights and whatnot, especially when Venus lands on your sun. That would be a good night to go out and kick back with your husband and just leave all your worries behind. Like Tony had said in the beginning, she feels that, Venus retrograde is a time where you really need to chill and, stop and smell the roses, so to speak. So use this Venus retrograde time to your advantage, and maybe even do some new activities with your husband to just, revive the passion.
That sounds great.
Okay. Did anybody else want to throw in, or is she good to go? Did you have any other questions?
No, I think that's it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for listening, and definitely check us out, not the following Monday, but the next. So every other Monday we're here. So thank you for listening, and thanks for participating.
Okay, thank you. And I'll definitely try to come back.
Thanks. All right, so we have another caller, 770-374. You're on the air.
Hey, ladies.
Hello.
Hi, what's your
Hello.
name?
Hi. Hey, y'all. This is Amina. I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia. What else?
Hi, Amina.
I was just listening to the show. Hey, Apple. I was just listening to the show. I want to say to the first caller, Sharika, run. That was. We weren't laughing at you, sweetie. We were laughing with you, and we're hoping that you get yourself out of that, because that's too much. I'm a Pisces myself. I'm not the man, but I know we got those evil sides, so you need to go.
Hey.
So I just had to let her know that. I just had to tell her. Sorry.
I'm a Pisces sun as well. So we don't have those sides. I refuse to acknowledge that.
I don't know, like, where I stand with the sun and the rising and things like that. I know Appollonia has given me this information. But listening, I always, it's fun hearing when y'all pinpoint and things like that. So I guess I could get a small reading. Things in my life right now are starting to, like, turn around. So I guess I understand this retrograde, and maybe the Venus is good for me right now because things are starting to, like, turn around for me. So I just want to, me and my boyfriend. So, yeah, I just kind of want to see where that's headed. I can for a little mini reading, if I can.
Okay. Give us your birthday, Amina, and your birth time and city and state, and we will pull up your information.
Okay, so February 20th.
I don't remember your rising offhand. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
February 20th, 1988. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and I don't have the exact time. I know it was like around 2 in the afternoon.
Okay.
I gotta look at my birthday.
So 2:00 p.m.
What city and state was that again?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, so us going with 2:00 p.m. I have that you have a Cancer rising, Amina. Pisces sun, Aries moon, Cancer rising. Mm-hmm. And let me see here. I'm going to pull your transits up here. So, if you ladies want to start in, I'm still pulling up her information.
Well, I'll just start by saying, Venus retrograde, is your Venus is in Aries and 13 degrees Aries, and Venus is going to go retrograde at 13 degrees Aries. And then you have Venus and the moon together in Aries, right next to each other. So, this can be, maybe you could be, this can cause you to maybe reminisce about the past a little bit when it comes to relationships, or just want to take a review of the current relationship that you're in during that time. Also, Uranus is in Aries, and that's, it's been dancing back and forth over your moon. Have you, like, moved a few times in the last few years or anything?
Yeah, I actually relocated from New York back to Atlanta, and now I've been here for, I've been back for like 4 years now. And since I've been back, I've moved from an apartment to a house apartment into a house.
Well, that's good. Yeah, because your Aries stuff is in your 10th house, and the 10th house is like moving up in the world. So, even though Uranus energy, it could be like irrational and erratic and cause you to just do things suddenly, you actually did those things to it calls for change. Like, you get an itch for change. But when you did those things, it looks like you did them to kind of move up in the world. So that's pretty good. But yeah, the Venus retrograde is it's going to be, like Regina mentioned for the last caller, kind of maybe going back over some things with the relationship partner that you're with now about how you can keep that relationship going strong. So it's a time of review. That's what I see.
Okay. And we've currently kind of been doing that, so it's kind of funny that you say that. We're actually, like, writing out our plans and how we're going to go about and, implement our plans and what we want to change and, what's working for us and what isn't. So that's kind of good. Maybe we're on the same page.
Yeah. So there's
that's awesome.
more of that. Yeah, you guys are already in tune with that. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
That's pretty darn good. I think that the Venus retrograde hovering over your Venus, I think that that's amazing, especially hovering over your moon, and this is all happening in your 10th house. So are you making any moves, like as far as your career, anything new that you are doing?
I'm actually doing new things, yeah. When it comes to, like, I don't know, you don't know. I've actually always had a passion for doing makeup. So I'm actually starting to post myself now, taking pictures and doing it and, just opening myself to possibly having clients and opening up, about to change my downstairs basement to a studio or something that I can use for myself. Like, I'm getting in the mindset of working for myself and doing something that I love and trying to figure out how I can make it work for me. Doing something different, trying to think of different ways. Right. I'm cooking more. I'm experimenting with food. Okay, go ahead.
With this Venus retrograde, it's going to be hovering over your 10th for a while. So this is like perfect timing. And you can easily acquire notoriety or popularity or a little hint of fame with it hovering over your Aries moon as well. And Rabina, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so you mentioned, go ahead, Tony.
Oh, no, I was just, I always find it fascinating how people just read their chart, and she was talking about opening up her basement and, taking clients, and she has Neptune in Capricorn, so she's thinking about, erecting a business out of her basement. I just found that to be fascinating. Wow. Like, you're definitely in the chart.
And Venus is activating that Neptune and Neptune in the Venus and Moon aspect in her chart natally. Venus is lighting that up.
Okay.
Yeah, and also Jupiter is in Libra this year, and it's going to transit over your 5th house cusp, and the 5th house rules turning a creative hobby into your own business. So I would say you're starting now, and it's like that's why it is perfect timing, because once that Jupiter transit happens, that's a time where you can, like, fully start to proceed with things. And then you have Saturn. He's right now in your 6th house of work environment. So that makes sense that you are working on the type of work environment that's ideal to you, that you want, and the type of job that you would like to have. So, yeah, good timing. Right. Clap, clap, clap.
Yay, great. That's good to hear. I have a son, and he's about to be a year old, so I feel like the way that the system is going out, I don't want to put him in school. So I'm trying to figure out ways that I can work from home and be active in his life instead of, basically homeschooling. We're not doing all that other stuff right now. So I'm glad that this is, I guess, to hear it to work in my favor, because I don't want to put him in school. So it's kind of great. So thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
Rabina, did you have something you wanted to say? I'm sorry. Did you want to say something, Rabina?
Oh, yeah, just real quick. I was just, since, you're thinking about this, or you're planning this makeup business, I was just going to say, while Venus is retrograde, just try to refrain from buying any, large amounts of inventory or makeup, especially makeup that you're unfamiliar with. So Venus will be direct on April 16th. So that's when you can start to really, invest money-wise in the business. But I would just advise for now, while Venus turns retrograde, just be in the planning stage and, just get everything down, on paper.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Rabina.
You're welcome.
All right, guys.
All right,
so, Amina, you were our last call of the night. There was somebody else holding, but they dropped off. So we're going to go ahead and close out the show. since we have time to do that this week, you know, usually we are bombarded by our callers, but we had a good flow tonight. So I want to say thank you guys, of course, from myself to all the other members of the council. Thank you guys for listening for our third show. I'm thinking we're kind of deciding what type of topic we're going to do next week, but thank you guys for listening and for participating, and definitely share with your friends, your family members, because like I said, we are the best girl talk on Blog Talk Radio. And if you guys want to give any other bye-byes, and we'll close with our Miss Badu.
I just want to say, make sure you guys catch the replay if you tuned in late. And the replays you can play anytime here on Blog Talk Radio. I may post some of them on my YouTube as well, which is under Pisces Moon Goddess. And be on the lookout for our Cosmic Council Radio YouTube channel coming up pretty soon, where all the replays for every show will be available as well.
I just want to add real quick just one admonishment about Venus retrograde. It's really nothing to be too don't fear anything, but there are some precautions that you need to take, like going to beauty salons, for instance. Venus retrograde, especially in Aries, is not the time to switch hairstylists. Stick with what you know or who you know. So I just wanted to put that out there. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Great point.
That was I was going to say the same thing. That is a very valid point. I just want to say I always enjoy getting together with you ladies. I love you guys much. Thanks for all the callers, and I look forward to our next show.
Yeah, same here. And definitely our website is in the works. You can check Rabina out at Rabina Rastaban on YouTube, Pisces Moon Goddess on YouTube, myself, the Astrology Lady, on YouTube, and we'll let everybody know as soon as the site is up and going. And check us out tomorrow, me and April, for the good, the bad, and the scandalous when dating a Taurus man. So we'll catch you guys next time, and peace out.